Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. 603-283-6160. That's the call-in line. You can call in and talk about whatever you want. 603-283-6160. People are asking if we're banned from Twitch. As far as I'm aware, we're not. Now I have to sit through this 20-second advertisement to confirm, but it shows that we're live. So as far as I can tell, and we're getting the same information on DLive. That's curious. Let me pull that up and see. We are offline on DLive for whatever reason. I can take a look at that and get that fixed. But yeah, weird stuff. We are migrating from caster.io onto restream.io, mostly because Restream gives us a chat tool that takes all of the different chats from Facebook, YouTube, DLive, Twitch, Vaughn Live, and puts them in one single place so we can watch them. Previously, we were only watching Twitch and DLive, and we had separate chat windows for each of those.
Yeah.
Now we can watch all of
totally
it.
difficult to even keep track of, much less pay attention to on a regular basis.
So I don't know why we're not streaming on DLive. I'm going to look into that. All it shows for me is sending data. I will figure it out. So anyway, that's fun. Lots of fun little tech issues to work out. Stopping and restarting the stream would probably fix the issue.
Right, but then that's going to create multiple files and all sorts of weird things for...
Yeah, I prefer to not stop it at all. We'll be back on DLive tomorrow. I could probably go in and start it manually. I don't know. I'm going to give that a shot and see what happens. So hopefully we'll be up on DLive here in a minute. Maybe we won't be. I don't know. We're working on sorting all sorts of things
In the
out.
meantime, you can get the audio stream at lrn.fm.
That's true, you can. Or you can just watch on Twitch or YouTube or Facebook or any of these other platforms. We're available on all of them. But let's go to the phones. We've got Scott the Bigot calling. Scott, you're on Free Talk Live.
Good evening, Aria, and I didn't catch the other your co-host name.
You're correct. I'm not very good at my job tonight. I'm here with Captain Kickass and Conan.
Captain Kickass, Conan, Aria, thank you for taking my call. Today, if your listeners aren't aware, is of course April 19, 2021. But today marks the 28th anniversary of the federal government's attack on the Branch Davidian compound in Waco, Texas, in which many innocent men, women, and children were ruthlessly slaughtered, and their leader as well, David Koresh, by this evil government. Were you aware of that?
I was not aware that it was the 20th anniversary.
Yeah, Tom brought it up last hour.
Yeah, well, the 28th anniversary.
Did he? I was in here for that.
Also,
Yeah, he did.
Oh. Like I said, I'm not very good at my job tonight.
That was April 19th, 1993, in which ATF, FBI, and other evil government agencies attacked the Branch Davidian compound. But then 2 years later, on April 19th, 1995, that marks the 26th anniversary of the Oklahoma City bombing carried out by Timothy McVeigh's retribution for the Branch Davidian massacre 2 years earlier. So McVeigh, of course, was later executed by our Zionist-occupied government, or ZOG. And both incidents were unfortunate and could have been avoided. But sadly, our heavy-handed, vindictive, ruthless, and evil Zionist-occupied government was out for blood. And the point I'm making is January 6, 2021, our government was out for blood again, because that marks America's, in my opinion, second revolutionary war against a tyrannical government. And these people, I don't condone the violence, but these insurrectionists were heroes because they took a stand against our evil government.
Do you really believe that's what that was? They were just milling about the house. They weren't doing anything. There was old grandmas in there with flags.
It was old men with canes breaking down the barriers there.
That was nothing like what's going on in the world right now. It was just some guy. They were walking and they were staying in the damn red lines. All this breaking of the White House, breaking it down, and the breaking down of the doors, and all they were doing was stealing the podium and stuff.
They've been railroaded, just like Ian has been railroaded by the FBI. When the government wants to railroad you, they can come up with all kinds of trumped-up phony excuses, just throw you in the slammer. It's just horrible.
Well, this
And,
isn't just the government saying it; it's mainstream media saying
But,
it.
and it would all be okay with Scott if it were just government doing it, but it's not okay with Scott because it's the Zionist-occupied government that's doing it.
Yes, it wouldn't matter what.
I can't believe anyone would say yes to that.
It happens to be a
STB.
Zionist-occupied government. And, you know, I have a new name for the 16. I call it the 1621 militia to start the new American Revolution. Because take it out of the date of the insurrection, 1621. Call it the 1621 militia. Have a flag, and you know what I would use as the logo? I would use a stake, Benjamin Franklin from the Revolutionary War.
Okay,
And you would have
Scott,
the
quick
captain
question.
on top of the stake. Don't tread on me.
You say what you would do, not what you are doing. Why?
I don't know anyone that's in this. I do what I can by speaking out. I don't know, and I don't know how to link up with anyone who believes that the government is evil, like I do, and what they're doing about it.
Well, it would help your cause if you would get rid of the bigotry.
Let me ask you a question.
Sure.
Do you admire the Oath Keepers and the Proud Boys?
I don't admire anyone.
I'm a fan of the Proud Boys. I'm not Proud Boys, but the Oath Keepers. In fact, in a way, I am one. I don't follow their websites, or I don't have any of their bumper stickers on my vehicle or anything. But I'm an Oath Keeper.
The point I'm making is that the ADL and George Soros is painting both groups as
terrorists,
neo-Nazi, far right wing.
Yeah.
And that's very sad. But the funny thing is about George Soros, he never, ever criticizes Antifa or Black BLM. You know why?
Because he's a
Because
leftist.
this billionaire, leftist, Jewish billionaire finances both movements. He finances both of them. And the FBI has been egged on by the ADL, which is a private organization that has no right to stick its nose in telling the FBI what to do.
So you'd be just fine, Scott, with government if it was financed and funded by the right?
Say that again?
You'd be just fine with government if it was occupied or otherwise controlled by the right?
What kind of government would you support, Scott?
See, because I think the difference between you and me, Scott, is that you claim to have this distaste for government, but you only claim to, as near as I can tell, your distaste only goes so far as your preferred controllers, whereas my distaste for government goes for the organization at its core, because it is an organization based on immorality and lack of ethics.
You asked me a question, and I will answer, and I'll answer it without sugarcoating or double talking. I hate communism. I despise it. I hate socialism. I despise it. I hate democracy. I absolutely detest democracy. The answer to your question, I would go with National Socialism or Nazism.
What
And I know
about
what
the
you're gonna say.
many people who would be killed under National Socialism, Scott?
That is a problem. That definitely is indeed a problem, because
I mean, I
everyone
would be
familiar
at the
with-
top of the list of people your government would execute. And you seem okay with that. You prefer that. Why?
I prefer it because
Now, remember,
all the
you're
other
answering the
govern-
question of
all
why
the
you would
other
prefer the
governments
government
control-
to execute me.
what if there was a National Socialism that did not stick people in concentration camps, did not shoot people, did not murder? I'm Jewish myself. I'd be slaughtered as well.
So you're okay with this?
I would be all right with a National Socialism if it could be, if you will, toned down, if that's possible.
Tone down to not kill the undesirables?
That's right.
So what would we
That's
do
right.
with the undesirables?
Controlled.
How is it?
Controlled by like rounding them up in concentration camps?
Putting them on a spaceship to the moon?
Scott, thank you so much for the call tonight.
Yeah,
Interesting.
we've run out of continents, so they can't be another Australia. We've got to send them to the moon.
You would think, or Mars or something.
It's
Mars is
always
too
fun
far.
to talk to Scott and remind him that, you know, what you're advocating, it can get real people killed.
Every
he
time
struggles
throughout
with
all
that.
of history.
603-283-6160. This is Free Talk Live.
Having taken her father's throne, Sarah Calhoun has fallen out with one of her best allies, and her brother Nathaniel heads into Imperial Philadelphia with a